Hello and welcome to another live stream of Jake's Metal Chat. I am Jake of Jake's Metal Chat. As you can see, I have changed the name of the channel as that is my content. And that reminds me, I got to send this to my guest, but I thought I'd chat first. Yeah, so might as well let you know what's going on before my guest arrives. Basically, I will be doing another live stream like this, but at the end of December for Black City Records. So I'm just doing some stuff, right? Yeah, so I'm doing a live stream for the record shop here, Black City Records, as well. Might as well just say I have bought a lot at that shop, so yeah, I had to mute a few things. Yeah, I don't know if she's there yet. She is there, but I'm gonna just see if I can post this on a group on in Bristol. Badoosh. And hell, let's let her in. So, Gus is here. She was on the stream that I was on back on Halloween. Well, it was Halloween Eve for her, Halloween for me. Blah blah blah. It's with, you probably see it with Ken's Death Metal Crypt. Anyway, it's Melanie Loves Death Metal.
Hey there. Hey Jake, thanks for having me.
No problem. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm off of work for the rest of the week, so I'm in a good mood.
That's off of work.
Yeah, it's a Thanksgiving holiday for us here in the States tomorrow. So, and then usually Friday is a day off as well for some people. I mean, not the whole country, but my work observes it. So it's nice. I haven't had some time off in a while, so I'm excited.
What a better way to start off than be on a
I know. I'm excited. This is one of those new things that I just started doing. I've never really done like live streams or anything like that, so it's just starting to be a normal thing. It seems like.
Yeah, it's I haven't really done a whole lot of them. The first one we did was with one band called Black Tar Superstar. Never heard of them until then. And then I got a comment from the Grey Man, who I haven't done any live streams with it in a long time. So, how you doing? Hope you're well. And yeah, I just need to calm down a bit. But welcome to Jake's Metal Chat. This is episode 47, and it's
excited to be here. I was watching a lot of your videos these last couple of weeks, just to see, and you've had a lot of amazing people on this show, so I'm feeling a little bit starstruck.
A lot of them could have just said no, but
I mean, I was just like, wow, I was missing out on a lot of these things. I subscribed to you shortly after we did Ken's stream.
Yeah, I saw that. It was you, Marty, Worm, and well, Mark didn't. Mark and Liam subscribed me a while back, but a lot of people just started subscribing to my channel.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I mean, Ken's channel was a really good thing. I got quite a bit of subscribers after that, so forever grateful for him for doing that show. That was a lot of fun. So
yeah, it was brilliant. And well, what's Gray said? He said something.
Oh, nice. Thanks. I hope you enjoy my videos.
Yeah, and I've been watching quite a few of those, but I've been watching the Death Metal Tape Tuesday ones.
Oh yeah. That I wasn't too sure how that was going to be, because some people are still not sold on collecting tapes, and then that actually ended up being a lot of the videos that get most of the views. So
yeah, I got some tapes, not all of them death metal, but some death metals. One's doom metal. I think I got a Nirvana tape in there somewhere, but
yeah, I mean, I still have a couple of tapes from when I was, pretty young as a kid. Not a whole lot though, but I wish I had kept most of them. Kind of regretting it now. If I had known there's any way of knowing that they would have been a revival of cassette tapes, I definitely wouldn't have gotten rid of them, because I definitely have. Yeah, I had some that I just know, like, now that I see going for on eBay for a lot of money that I know that I owned, and I'm just trying not to, like, kick myself for. But I was so young back then and got overtaken by the digital age. So
Yeah, the digital age, well, that's pretty much stopped people from going out buying CDs, buying
yeah.
vinyl, buying tapes. It's like they don't care. It's like, oh, we don't care about this format. It's like, well, I collect CDs, so that's all I can really say about that. So, question I usually ask people on here, my guests, not people, your guests. Where did your music journey begin, and how did it get into metal? Well, in your case, death metal.
Yeah, so I have an older brother who is quite a bit older than me. He's 10 years older than I am. And growing up, my parents have always been diehard music fans, just really into the classic rock genre, like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, stuff like that. And just music was always a common thing in my household. Like, it was always on. They would have parties and it was just always blasting. And that pretty much is where it started. My family is full of a lot of musicians as well. People who have been in bands, people who have recorded albums, people who have toured, like, people just music as a whole has been a thing. I've got music teachers in my family. So I think it kind of just, it was just a natural course for me. And then as I started to get a little bit older, and obviously started to dive into more music and actually was able to buy music myself. I was really close with my brother, pretty much idolized him growing up, and he was heavily into metal music. Like he wore the shirts, he bought the CDs and the tapes, and he went to the shows, and just hearing it play in his room or anytime he would drive me around anywhere, it was always blasting. And it just kind of got to the point where, I idolized him, so I thought it was cool, and I was like, I want to listen to this stuff. So, like, whenever he wasn't home, I would sneak into his room and look at the tapes that he had and listen to them. And when I got my own tape player, I was, making the playlists with my own tape player of the stuff that he had. And just really, that pretty much is what started it all. Like, he was really into Pantera at the time, and I know that he had went and seen him several times. So that was probably one of the first metal bands that I ever really, really got into. And then he absolutely loved Obituary, so that was another one. And I just, like, even bands like Biohazard, he had tapes of them. Death was another one. Like, those are just the things that came out of him. And as I started getting into that, I also have an older cousin who is quite a bit older than I am, who was in the metal band scene in Chicago, which is where I'm from. He played a lot of local bars, in a lot of local metal bands, and grew up, in that scene. And my brother he's very close with him. And we're all very close as a whole. Like, he's one of my best friends. Just that pretty much furthered it even more, to the point of learning how to play guitar, where I learned how to play guitar, and I got my first guitar as a gift from him and from my aunt and uncle. And just from there, it pretty much just started. I was very young too. I think the first time I ever heard a death metal album was definitely Death's Scream Bloody Gore. Like, I just remember hearing it, and seeing the album cover and being, like, almost mortified, terrified of it, but at the same time, really intrigued, thought it was cool, because my brother loved it. So, I was probably like 9 or 10, and just I haven't ever stopped since then. I mean, I've definitely gone in phases of being into other kinds of music, like alternative and like the punk stuff, but the death metal thing has always been there. It's always been a thing that people know me for. Like, oh, Melanie listens to metal music. She loves death metal. So that's pretty much where the name generated from for my YouTube channel. It was just kind of it was pretty much like an inside joke. Like, I was very active on YouTube in terms of commenting and subscribing to people and like watching like live concerts, stuff like that. And so I changed my name to Melanie Loves Death Metal because that's just what people always said, like, as an inside joke. And then now that's just generally what I'm known for now. Like even people that I work with, like that follow me on social media, like that's what they call me. Like, oh, there's Melanie, she loves death metal. So yeah, I mean, in general, like I've always been really connected with a lot of the bigger name death metal bands. And then most recently within the last like 2 years, and this is heavily because of Ken. And I've always said this is I've gotten closer into the underground death metal scene, which has been my absolute favorite thing ever since I started getting into it. Because for me, that has exposed me to so much more music and even just genres within metal. Like I recently learned about a lot of other genres, which I often talk about on my channel because it's always just been death metal, and then obviously, the normal metal bands of like Pantera, like even Nine Inch Nails, stuff like that. So very long-winded answer. Sorry.
Usually some answers are like maybe 10 minutes or something. No, that's a lot. That's a long answer, which is always good. I was going to say that Pantera was a band that got me into metal because one of my brother's friends from school burnt two CDs for me, and they were Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power and The Great Southern Trendkill.
Yeah,
and those were the albums that got me into Pantera, and then heard like Cowboys from Hell and what was it? Far Beyond Driven and Reinventing the Steel, but I also got into Metallica and Slayer around the same time as well.
Yeah.
And then someone at secondary school, which would be I think high school to you guys, said, "Oh, check out this band called Cannibal Corpse." And I was like,
"Oh yeah,
okay, Cannibal Corpse." Checked them out. I was like, no. And then it was like, it's just, and then all of a sudden I heard the song Hammer Smash Phase, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this more of a try now. And then lo and behold, got into them, and I found Obituary, Suffocation, Morbid Angel, and Tomb, Grave, Dismember, and the list kept going on and on and on and on and on. Until I got to the underground and finding Ken's channel in 2016 and finding all these different demos from bands that I knew and other bands that I didn't. I was like, okay, who's this band then? Nope, don't know. Oh, Rochefort. Oh, Cyanide. Don't know him. Kind of all these other, don't know.
Yeah. I mean, even still now, like he'll post things that I have never seen or heard of, and then I'll go listen to, like, whenever he posts like a demo or something like that on his YouTube channel, I'll listen to it. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Obviously, I was very young back in the 90s when all these bands were around in the underground. And then of course I call this like the plague. Unfortunately, like for me, I'll hear something and I'll really like it, and then I'll go to look and see if I can buy it somewhere. And a lot of times, stuff that Ken posts is just obsolete. Like you can't find it anywhere. It's selling for an insane price somewhere. So, so then I'm like, well, if I can find it digitally and be able to listen to it that way, I'll be happy. But yes, I'm hoping someday. Some of these things will start to come back, but Ken's channel has been really good for that, for those instances, because it's just, again, I don't know, there was probably no other way I wouldn't have been able to hear that stuff. So
yeah, you couldn't find any of these demos or anything, because I managed to find one on vinyl actually, if I can find it. It's actually close. Found it. Being silly. It's My Dying Bride's demo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is that's a good one. That's actually, I don't even know that one. So that's some stuff that I need to, like, I have like a general list, like no joke. I keep like a notebook on my desk, and just on the days that I'm sitting on like Bandcamp or watching YouTube videos or something, like I generally keep a list of things like, oh, I need to get that again. Like I used to own that on CD and I don't have it anymore. And just like it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's an addiction, but it's definitely like a hobby that I've been doing now, trying to get the older stuff that I either just never was able to buy because of was too young, didn't have a job or anything like that, or just ended up getting rid of, and I wish I hadn't. So
I've done that with some albums, like, oh, got rid of it, and I find it, it's like, or you think you misplaced an album, then you buy another one, and then you find that copy, because I got 2 copies of the Fourth Crusade now.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I do that. Actually, I do that quite a bit. It's funny because I'll pre-order a tape or something, and then if it's been a long pre-order, I'll go back and think like, did I pre-order this? And like, if for some reason I don't find it in my email, I'm like, well, I'll just order it again. If I had it twice, I'll give it away or something. And I've been doing that lately. And it's funny because every once in a while, somebody will message me, like they'll shoot me a message on Instagram if they see like my order come through because they're familiar with who I am. And they're like, hey, you already ordered this. Did you mean to order it again? And I was like, and a couple times it's been like, yeah, I'm doing it for a giveaway. Like, I know I've already ordered this. And then there's been a few times, like, especially recently, I've been like, actually, I didn't mean to order that again, but don't worry. Like, don't cancel it. Send it to me because I've been really trying to get a few of my friends back into death metal and just been sending them things, and I've gotten a lot of them into tape collecting again. So fortunately it has not been easy on my wallet since I've started doing this though.
No. Well, as Ken, I think Ken's said in some of his videos, on when he said it in my chat, it's like, got into metal, ruined my life.
Yeah, in a good way. I will definitely
in a good way, because he's got, because if you look at his video of his tour of the crypt and then the chat I did with him, you can see the amount of vinyl tapes and CDs he got in there. It makes my cupboard of CDs look like, well, just a cupboard.
Yeah, I mean, people ask for a room tour for me. They have asked it several times, and I always feel like they expect it to be something similar to Ken's or even Mark G's, like how he's got a massive CD collection behind him. And I'm like, it's not even remotely close. Like, it's not even like, it's probably not going to be a very interesting tour at all. I mean, I've got some cool stuff that maybe I can show off, but for the most part, it's a very small collection in comparison. And like, I just started buying tapes a little over a year ago. So and I've gotten quite a bit, probably more than I've even realized. Like I did a thing recently where I was going through them and I was selling off some duplicates because I was getting duplicate ones and just trying to throw, like, I often buy more than one copy on a different format, especially if it's an album that I absolutely love. And eventually, when it comes down to, like, when I'm cleaning out and doing all that kind of stuff, I'll either give it away or I'll do a giveaway or I'll sell it. And like, I was doing that and I realized, like, I have a lot of tapes now. Like, it's kind of insane. To the point where I asked Bryce, who is Crypt Keepers on Instagram, to make me a tape rack because I don't know, I can't store them anywhere. Like, they're in boxes right now, and I want them to be out on display. And I don't have much room for like another huge shelf that I see people have. So I'm waiting on that. I'm excited to get it because that will help me with a lot of my storage issues that I've been having right now.
It would help because I'm trying to get that for my vinyl collection. I want to move my desk of drawers over that way, then have my record player and all that there, and put my bass there and my electric guitar over there, and have it like a shrine sort of thing.
Someday I hope to have a basement completely full of like a music room. That is a goal someday, but just for right now, my kids are relatively still young, so okay. Yeah, so
look at what you got.
Mark's there. He is. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I just sent you a message. I was trying to say, hey, Mark, how you? It's good when I sent you a message, Mark, because I thought you were thinking you were on the same blinking stream we were on. So it was nice in the evening for you guys, but 2 freaking AM for us here.
Yeah, I was really nervous about that stream, which is funny because, and I don't know why I was, because I knew it was going to be fine, but for whatever reason, I know, like, in the back of my mind, like, I didn't expect, like, obviously thousands of people to be in the live stream because I join Ken's live streams a lot, and it's always a couple hundred. Or
I try to, but then always on that time I usually
right. And so there's been several times where I've watched one of his live streams, especially when he's streaming with like Dylan and Mark in them, and it usually lasts a little bit longer than 2 hours. If I can't make it for the whole night, I'll go back and rewatch them the next day, and then I see the views on it, and that kind of just like was what made me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit nervous because we're getting at because when Cameron was asking me questions about my channel, I was like, I hope I can say things right, because I said, instead of saying Jake's Metal Chat, I said Jake's Metal Thing. I was like, what the fuck? I know what I meant. I was just like, because I went out before the stream because I thought, I can quickly go out to the Griffin or whatever, which is the local pub here, the number one metal pub, well, actually the only metal pub, and let me get rid of that. I think we're all a bit nervous. Well, I knew I was. I kept doing and waving my hands around. I am wearing Frozen Soul.
Yeah, I saw. That's an awesome shirt. Is that the
It's the Cold Cream.
That one. I know. I need to get one of their shirts. That's definitely.
I think they're going to make more. I'm not entirely sure.
But, they have like a Holy Mountain printing store, and they press like these awesome shirts, especially this tie-dye one that I really wanted, and they sell out so fast. Like, I'm not a big shirt collector, so their things like that's just another thing that I recently started doing was buying the metal shirts. And if I ever sit on it for a while and I go back and decide like, oh, I've got money in the budget, I'll go try and see if I can find one. So, but those have been selling out. Frozen Soul stuff sells out so fast. So
Marty will be.
Yeah, I that was not planned either. I'm very much, I pull whatever's clean on the top of my drawer and put it on.
As well. Just whatever's. It's usually what's been freshly washed and ironed.
Because
I'm stupid, but not stupid, but I'm just a bit like, I'll take that one. But I thought, I haven't worn this one yet, so I'm going to wear it. And Mark, I still need to buy Enchantment's first album, the only album I've done so far, because I know they got a new one coming out. And I know Liam has had them on there. And Mark, I still need to get you on here. So if you want to do it like this, what I'm doing mainly now, just let me know. Or pre-record on Zoom, which it's kind of boring because no one can tune in. Now we've got 6 people. That's amazing. What was I going to say? The other video I watched, because I was going to talk more about your channel. Well, I got the CD here because I also showed it on Ken's stream.
Yeah, that's
it's amazing.
That's the one I have. I got a stack over here of some of my favorite releases from this year because I've been compiling it. But that is probably my album of the year. Yeah,
it's one
love it. Sorry, it makes me happy when I see people who are telling me that they listen to this because of what I said. Because I know there's quite a bit of people that still
CD's cool.
hadn't. Yeah, the CD looks awesome. 20 Buck Spin does a great job with their pressings. Yeah, so I'm excited to get the vinyl, but I bought the CD and the tape just because I knew the vinyl. Yeah, I love that. I love that picture of Phantom.
Which I knew he was on the live stream when we all did that together. I'm still trying to get him on Jake's Metal Chat, but he's
you should. I love when he's on streams. Watch everyone that Ken's had with him, and then Mark Riddick is another one I always really enjoy. Mark Riddick is like, I just remember the first time a couple months ago he was on the live stream with Ken and Dylan and Phantom.
Yeah,
and he mentioned my channel, and I just remember like I was sitting there on the couch and I was watching it. And I was like, did he just say my name? And like, I just remember being super like fangirling, really excited about it. Like, oh my God, he knows who I am. Like, and just ever since, like, it's been like, it's crazy. It's been kind of a crazy thing since I've started this.
Yeah, well, it's been nuts with how many people I've had on here so far. I've had obviously big bands like Memoriam and Massacre and Autopsy.
That's awesome.
Fucking hell, too much. And even some of my mates from the local scene as well.
I the most recent one you had was Frank from Soul Devourment. I watched
yeah,
that. I watched that last week. Yeah.
Only picked up Gloomlord.
I mean, I'm impressed that you were able to find it, because Gloomlord has also been. Yeah, I mean, it was a while before I was able to get the vinyl, because it was so hard to get. So
I only got the CD.
Yeah.
Vinyl. I want to get the vinyls. I'm like, do we listen to iTunes? Nah. Like,
yeah. They did like a special pressing it with Night Shift merch, which is a store here, or a site here in Florida. They're actually 3 hours from me, and I just last year they dropped like a release of Gloomlord on tape and CD. Was it CD? I don't remember. And vinyl, and then they had a bunch of shirts and like sweatpants and stuff like that.
yeah,
And they were advertising it. And I remember that was the first time I ever heard of Worm, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, people were
who is
like,
this?
it's sold out. Yeah, it's sold out super quick too. And I remember I had it in my basket and was gonna buy
Physical
it.
format only, Jake. Come on now.
And
all right, Mark.
And then it sold out, and I regretted it not doing it. I don't remember why I didn't pull the trigger. I was telling myself, like, I'm gonna put it in the basket, I'm gonna listen to it today, and if I like it, I'll buy it. And then I don't know, I just probably got distracted or something. So then I had to wait, and then Iron Bonehead finally did a repressing of their vinyl, but I had to buy it from overseas where Iron Bonehead is, and it was. I remember it cost a lot. Like, I think it got to the point where I was comfortable enough I just messaged Phantom, because I knew that, he was on Instagram, and messaged him like, are there going to be any available in the US? And he kind of was like, yeah, eventually. I don't really have a time frame. So then I was just like, well, I'll just buy it from Iron Bonehead, because I didn't want to wait, because it was such a hot commodity. Like, people were buying it as soon as they could. So I am hoping that they do some sort of a repress with that. I don't know. Like, I know that it's owned by other labels besides $20 Spin. So, but I hope, because I do have a lot of people telling me like they wish they had it on vinyl and they wish they could get it. So
I want it on vinyl. So, because there are those who just, I think, primarily go by vinyl. Yep. Those are primarily pick CD, and those are primarily pick tape. Me is all three formats.
Yeah. I definitely. I went from vinyl only to now I just buy all three formats.
Can't pull the trigger on everything unless you're Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Anyway, stop it, Mark. You're a naughty boy. He's British. He's fine with it. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you did. So you got the channel. Yeah, because you've done so many different videos. You've done like the Death Metal Tape Tuesdays, the Black Metal Mondays. What else have you done? You've done some review. Have you done many reviews?
I've done a few. Some ones that I've seen a lot of discussion around them, so I figured I would put my 2 cents in. But not consistent. Like, there's a lot of YouTube channels, like the Thralls of Metal is a YouTube channel that I watch. They do reviews on almost every new release. The Metal Meltdown is another channel that I watch. Robert, he does reviews on almost every single new release that comes. Like, I'm not like that. Maybe someday I'll get to that point. Like, if I get advanced enough listens on things. But for the most part, I mostly post my feelings, I guess you could say, or like a review on Instagram. I've been keeping it pretty much there for the most part.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that on your Instagram. Yeah.
So I try to post every day on Instagram because I've built up a pretty fun community over there. I like talk nonstop on that app every day. And it's to the point now where it's like, if I don't feel like I post something, then I at least have to interact somehow. Cause I don't want to like not, I'm not to the point of where like, I feel like I'm going to miss something. It's to the point of where it's just like a normal thing for me now. Feelings are what we want to hear. But like I like doing it. I like the interaction now. I like being able to talk to people about the music that I'm sharing and that I'm talking about. So Instagram has been by far the most fun thing that I've been doing. But on the YouTube sphere has been a little bit of a learning curve and understanding, what people want to what people want to watch and how people interact with you on there. And it's funny because like they'll watch my YouTube video and then they'll either message me on Facebook or Instagram. So like they don't comment on the video, but they'll still interact with me on the side. And that is ultimately why I kept doing it, because it was like, okay, well, people are watching the videos, even though there's not a whole lot of comments and stuff like that. Like, I know the views, I see the views obviously, and it's getting viewed, but so the interaction has just been the ultimately my favorite part about that. But yeah, I would like to do more reviews. I get kind of in my own head about it, like worried that I'm gonna, like, I don't want to. I'm very much an advocate for not talking about things I don't like, because I just don't. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I understand people who do that, and like they want to be fair, they don't want to be biased, all that stuff like that. I totally get it. It's just not something that I like feel comfortable doing. I don't like talking about music or a band that I don't like, because in general, like a lot of people are doing this as a career, like this is what they want to do for a living, and I don't want to be the reason why somebody doesn't listen to something. So I choose not to do that. And it's interesting because a lot of people have requested that I talk about something that I don't like. And I think it's funny that's like, it is the number one request that I get is like, hey, did you hear this album? People can't stand it. Like, are you on the same page? And I'm just like, and in private message, I'm like, well, it really wasn't for me, but I'm not going to make a 20-minute long video talking about it.
No, exactly. So reviews are not, but
yeah,
I like hearing about how an album makes the individual feel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like this album, for example, it made me feel just like, oh.
Yeah,
and before I got the CD, I heard it on Spotify because I was like, oh, it's on Spotify. I might as well listen to it now before the CD shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it on my walk, and I was just like, fucking hell.
Yes.
This is so heavy.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy the most is if there's an album that I just absolutely love. You're right. Yeah. They are. And I always tell people that too, because I also get a lot of comments about like, this sucks, or like,
this sucks, why man.
Yeah, like today I did. We'll get to that. But like, yeah, but yeah, if it's an album that I just love, and I'm very like, I'm a person that when I love something, like I don't shut up about it. Like, I drive people crazy, and like I'll share it and I'll talk about it and I'll send it to people like, you gotta listen to this, you gotta listen to this. And like a week later we'll go by and they'll be sending me stuff like, hey, have you checked this out? I'm like, I did, but did you seriously check that out? Because you really need to. So yeah, so that's, I enjoy doing that a lot more, which has been the whole main focus of my channel, is only showing you things I love, and I'm buying them because I love them or because I really enjoyed them and I want more people to know about it. So
yeah, that's basically it. I mean, because I keep thinking that, oh yeah, when I do these Jake's Metal Chat videos, does anyone care that I'm talking to these people? Does anybody actually want to comment on these videos? Because Mark's commented on a couple of them. I try to remember which one specifically he's commenting on. Liam has a lot, because I've had Liam on Jake's Metal Chat. I think he was my 4th guest of this year.
Nice.
Something like that. And I think, hey Mark. Oh, hi Mark. Oh, I'm just thinking of the bad one now. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? What was it? Oh wait, we got someone else.
Yep.
The Black and
Him channel. Yep.
I think I know this channel. Hey guys, Death Metal royalty right there. Of course. I don't know who you're about.
Yeah, he's got a great channel too. You should check that out. He just started his.
Oh, he just started. Oh, cool.
Yeah, not too long ago. So he's been one of my supporters ever since I started. I think might have been Liam or somebody like that probably sent him my way. So
yeah, I'm not sure who Liam or anyone might have sent my way, but he did mention me in one of his collection videos saying I was on Jake's Metal Chat. The link should be up here. Because the first time I met Liam was when they played Bristol in 2018, because he's in Consecration.
Yep.
And he was supporting the band Primitive Man.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love Primitive Man. I did not know that they played with them. That's awesome.
And
yeah,
I was just like, who's this Consecration then? And I checked him out and I was like, fucking hell,
yeah.
Heavy. and then I met Liam, started chatting to him and got him as a friend on Facebook. And then when I started doing this, I was like, maybe I should get him on here.
Yeah, that's another channel that I watch frequently, and I don't even know. I think I saw somebody share his YouTube channel on Instagram because he had called out a band, and I don't remember who it was.
I've been meaning
But
to share channels on my Instagram,
yeah,
but I might need to change my channel from just my name to Jake's Metal Chat now.
but that's the thing that I've been like telling myself I need to do more of, because I do follow a lot of YouTube channels, and I definitely kind of just lurk in the background. It's like I watch the videos and I do a little thumbs up. Like I don't always comment. And I've noticed now that like I want to show support and I want to let them know like, hey, I watched your video. This is great. So if I don't always comment, that doesn't necessarily mean I haven't watched it yet, but I'm trying to be better about that. Cause like that's the YouTube community that I'm trying to understand and learn how to be active
I'm trying to
in.
understand it all. It's like trying to comment, share it. I don't share I keep thinking I should share these videos, but then sometimes I share things and then people don't necessarily click on the things I've shared. Sometimes
It just it's repetition. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
I used to say something about that. But it's hard to keep up, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is
it
hard.
is. No, it is hard, especially across different platforms, because not everybody's on Instagram, not everybody's on Facebook, and then YouTube. Like I feel like everybody's on YouTube, but they don't like just in terms of how YouTube works. You don't always know if you're seeing it. But I guess for me now, like I obviously know who's been subscribed to me and stuff like that. But again, I don't know who's viewed anything or if they've watched it unless they actually tell me or they comment. So I try not to get too crazy about that and not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I try
Just in
not to.
general. Yeah, when I was starting the channel, I had no intentions of having it be insane or try to get like 1 million views or anything like that. It was just more of another way of connecting with some of especially a lot of the people that I've met on Instagram. So, because I got tired of posting pictures, and it was like, if I could just put this on a video and actually show people, that'd be a lot easier. So that was pretty much where I started. Yeah.
And well, your channel's grown a lot because you got over like so many subscribers. I don't know how many subscribers you got now. It's like 1 point something K. I don't know.
It's something like that. It's a little over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
Which again has definitely been because people have been sharing and talking about it. Like, and just I think Ken's stream definitely helped too, because I got quite a bit of new subscribers after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, and your channel has been growing too. I noticed like you haven't been when I first subscribed, which was several weeks ago. You've grown a lot since then too. So again, I think the sharing is a big thing. And it's funny because like it is a lot easier to get the followers on Instagram because it's easier just to look at a picture, click follow and like it. Videos take a little bit more commitment where you have to actually like watch the video. But yeah, it was yeah, it is. That is true. And that is actually something that I caught myself having a problem with, of trying to post a video every day and then being a little bit burnt out.
What do I
Yeah.
do? I show my CDs or say what tapes I have? But I'm going to do a live stream on Black City Records at the end of the year. So anyone tunes in for that, then you know about Black City Records because I'm going to go into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, it got to the point where when I first started doing this, I think I was posting almost every day, at least Monday through Friday, because that was the days that I could record. And then it got to the point where I was getting a little bit burnt out and I wasn't wanting to like watch any YouTube videos at the end of the night, which is what I do. That's like the thing that I do every single night. It's like my kids go to bed. I have like an hour or two to myself. Like I'll sit down and I'll watch all of my subscribers stuff, like all my subscriptions. And I wasn't doing that. Like I kind of burnt myself out. So then
I
told myself like, just let it be natural. When I'm in the mood to record a video, just do it. Like don't try and force anything. Don't make this a thing. Yeah. So, and that has been so much better since I started.
You're just lazy, Crane. You know it. now, people don't fight on the stream. We're here to talk metal. We all well, yeah, you can take the piss out of each other, but come on. You say you have kids.
I do. I have 2 boys. They're 6 and 3. He'll be 4 in January, so he's almost 4. So
Nice.
that's exhausting.
So, got a
And
YouTube channel, kids, and do you have a job outside of YouTube?
yeah, I'm also a manager for a big
Jeez.
company, so I have 14 people that directly report to me, so I'm
Wow.
pretty much, babysitting all day, and then I get off of work and I've got my kids, and so that's the other thing that has been kind of a bummer for me, and I was talking about this with, one of the owners of Maggot Stomp a couple days ago. I wish I
Nice.
could do this full time. Like, yeah, like I wish I had the time to just sit and record videos and actually edit
Yeah.
them and
It'd be
make
good.
them fun content and dedicate my time to listening to more music and talking about it more. But work is just an 8 hour sometimes. I work longer sometimes. So yeah, but I do wish I could do this full time. It'd be be so much happier if I could.
Yeah, you could just be at home, well, listen to music, be at home, and then do a video, or record multiple videos and just upload them, schedule them when they're going to get
Yeah.
released, and then it's just so much easier because I think that's what some YouTubers do. They upload them, the ones who do it full time, they're just making videos constantly, and then they schedule their videos, I guess. But if I could do that, great. But I'm nowhere near
Yeah.
enough to no. I haven't got that many subscribers to do that yet. So
I think you're underselling yourself a little bit. I thought the same thing, and then more and more
yeah,
people started saying stuff about it. So that definitely is a motivation because I knew that part of the YouTube of getting it started is you have to be consistent. You have to do it a lot and just ride out that stagnant wave of not a lot of views, not a lot of subscribers, and I didn't even tell anybody that I created the channel. I did not tell a single soul. I just did it and put the tags in of the video description,
mm,
and I can't remember who it was. I can go back and find it because I know I still have the message. It actually might have been Surat that shared
nice.
like one of my first videos that said, "Hey, like Melanie, thank you so much for your support." And I was like, "How did they see that?" um, and
How?
that's yeah, and it definitely was Surat, and I know it was probably XT from Parallax Occlusion. It was probably another one that
Mm,
shared my video, and then Maggot Stomp did it once. And that pretty much kind of opened the floodgates there because, as you know, they have a very committed fan base.
oh, of
He
course.
shared one of my channels on his Facebook, and I just remember like my Facebook was blowing up. I was like, "How do people know me?" Like,
How do you know
so
me? Who are you? Because I've been getting like people liking my Jake's Metal Chat Facebook page. It's like, how did you find? Who? Oh wait, who told you?
yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, you're doing such a good job. How did you find me? I'm not
yeah.
sharing
I
my
mean,
Facebook page.
I think I first learned about you because Ken always called you out on his stream, like my good buddy Jake, and he would always like he would see
Oh,
you
when
in the
I have
chat or
been on
something.
chat, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
keep thinking, how's he mentioning me if I haven't been on his? Oh, because I've been on some of his streams, like in the chat. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense now.
Yeah, and that it's funny because the live stream stuff, especially Marty's channel, I just kinda sat there and lingered. I never
Yeah, I need
really
to
per
watch some of his live streams when they're
yeah.
actually up.
He's he's every Friday they do these awesome streams
Oh,
and
Friday. Okay,
just
yeah.
and yeah, and sometimes they go for a lot longer than what I'm, able to stay up for because I could be kind of an old person sometimes and need to go to bed sooner than
Yeah,
what they stay up.
I'm like that
Um,
now because I took.
but but Brain Smasher Ben is pretty much
Yeah, he's another one who
the
subs to me as well.
yeah, he started following me, and I started following his channel, like, it was, like, a suggested YouTube channel, which was cool because I saw it, and I started following him, and he randomly messaged me one day on Instagram, was like, "Hey, like, we've been watching your channel, we love it, like, you should join Marty's live stream that he's doing tonight or a couple nights away, where we're just hanging out and talking about music." It wasn't any, like, specific thing, and Explosive Action was there, which is Simon, he has another great, and Alan that he has on his show, and a couple of other people I can't remember right now. I'm blanking. And Ben was on it for a little while, and that was funny because I had always like watched live streams. I just never like interacted. I can be pretty introverted at times, and so I just never interacted. But Ken's live streams
Understandable.
are Ken's live streams were always the ones I always would tune into, whether it be live or afterwards. And I never like would talk in the chat or anything like that. And so then I think one day I finally started, and then it was like people were remembering me. Like, so,
yeah, but I'm still getting that.
Yeah, but it's funny because Ken and Ben are probably the two people that have really introduced me into the YouTube space and the channel and like who people are, and got me more exposed to other channels. And because he would talk about them on the stream, or he would share something on Instagram and stuff like that. So
yeah, because he's always posting stuff on Instagram. I was like, oh, he's just posted something on his YouTube channel saying live stream with
Infested. Yeah,
that's the one, Infested. And
yep, this one.
And
yeah. So this is one of the Chris is band who was in Coffinized, that was on Maggot Stomp a while back.
Yeah.
He has this new band, Infested, which is on Sewer Rot, and Chris is also one of the owners of Sewer Rot. So this is his newest release band that just came out, and these tapes are just now getting shipped out to people.
Yeah,
so I noticed that.
Got a sticker.
Yeah, Sewer Rots is one of my favorite underground labels at the moment, and these guys have been really supportive of me. So,
and you mentioned them earlier,
Soul Devourment. Yeah, I love
because he's also he messaged me saying, "Oh yeah, you want anyone from?" It's a label he's part of. I can't remember what label he's now, but he mentioned a label that he works for or something, or works with. I can't remember, but if I want to interview anyone from that label, he can hook me up with them or something. But I have to look back on the video now. I'm just blanking. But
yeah, he's definitely I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they call themselves part owners or whatever. He's definitely a part owner of Sewer Rot. I don't know if he has any other. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't. It's like him, Chris, and then Kyle, who does a lot of their artwork from their stuff, and then Andrew from Coagulate, which is, I think now that I think about it, they were probably the first ones to share my YouTube, because they were on Ken's live stream one time, and I watched it not knowing who they were, and I went and listened to the music afterwards, and then I immediately bought their tape. And then shared it and talked about it on my channel. And that was the first, I think that was pretty much ultimately the first time people started to know who I was. So yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for this. I think I'm going to actually be able to tune into this. I wasn't able to watch this last live stream with Mark Riddick and Dylan and Phantom, but
yeah. I was going to watch it, but I was like, no, wait, I think I was doing something, so I couldn't go. I think, I don't know when he aired it, but I know I was in Cardiff for a gig, so Cardiff, Wales. It's just over the bridge. But and here's another one, like Extremely Rotten.
Extremely Rotten. Yeah, I wish I could. I have David. A lot of David. I saw that you had him on. I was fangirling about that, because Undergang, and I wish I could get more of Extremely Rotten's stuff here. It can be their shipping is pretty expensive, so when people like get distro drops from them, I tend to buy as much as I can when they get them. So because I do like they put out good quality presses, so I do have all the Undergang tapes from Extremely Rotten too.
I got every CD so far.
And Mark, to answer your question, the scene in Tampa is a little bit, I wouldn't say, I guess it's pretty small. Yeah, it's pretty small in terms of, it's pretty small now.
These days, because you're in Tampa.
Yeah, so there are a couple of venues that death metal bands go to. There's going to be a death tribute night next month at a local bar here in Tampa that's known for being like a metal bar. It's probably like the only one, and they're having like a death cover band, and it's like
Brass Mug, is it?
Yeah, Brass Mug. Yep. So that's like the underground scene, but there are several little venues in downtown Tampa that, bigger name death metal bands. Dying Fetus just came through here a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so I went to that. Gay Creeper came through here a couple years ago before COVID.
Gay Creeper.
Yeah, but for the most part, they have like the big amphitheaters. So like Slayer was here a couple years ago, stuff like that.
Just sticking my head in to say hi, and you're both awesome. Cheers, Liam.
Liam.
if no one's familiar with the Death Doom Metalhead, Mark G with a C, the Grey Man, and who's the other one, the Black Hidden channel, please check them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Now digging my fat ass to the gym. I'll be watching this later. Thanks, Liam. You're silly.
Yeah, I love Leah's gym, and Gordon too. He's one of the first people to subscribe to my channel.
Mainly because I love her channel, and also your own Jake. Take care, everyone. So, dude.
Yeah, these are all people in your time zone. I think a lot of people in my time zone are probably still working. I did so, but I'm assuming they'll go back and watch this. I'll share it and hope that they get to see it.
If they're not watching it live, they're going to rewatch it back. But yeah. Since I showed the album from this year, is there any other albums that you liked from this year so far? And if what are they?
So I'm actually going to do a series of videos, which is not a surprise, but like my favorite EPs, demos, my favorite full lengths, favorite black metal, stuff like that. But I think this probably is going to be no surprise to anybody. The new Warflurch album, their first full. Yeah, this is incredible. This is probably one of my favorites this year for me spending
a ton of money this year.
All the time. The new Carcass is probably one of my favorite releases this year.
Heard it yet. No, it's on
this is definitely a bias right here because they're one of my favorite bands. So so that was exciting. But most recently, and I have all these back here because I'm about to record a video. But this one is kind of has been a sneak in, and this was released last week. The Dream Unending, which is on $20 spin right now. And this is Derek from Magic Circle, and then or did I say that wrong? Jordan, sorry. I think I said his name wrong. And then Derek from Tomb Mold. Sorry. That's right. So this is their other band that just kind of came out of nowhere. I'll be honest with you. Like, they dropped a single a couple months ago and people were starting to blow it up. Like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. It's like, what is this? Like, you wouldn't assume that this is a death metal album when you see it. Like, I don't even know.
It looks more like funeral doom type.
Or maybe even like a prog album or something like that.
Wait, let me phrase that. More like proggy.
But this is very heavy Death Doom influences. It's got a lot of experimental.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, like experimental atmospheric things, but like the thing that's really good about this is that you can just tell that this was like a passion that they created. Like, Tomb Mold's an incredible band, but I feel like the creativity flew a lot more with this. There's a lot of great things about this album. So people have been hyping this up within the last week.
I'll listen to it, definitely.
Yeah, it's really good. But I've pretty much pulled like all of my favorite releases already because I'm doing a contest on my Instagram where I'm going to ask people to post for 31 days starting in December of their favorite metal releases for the year. And I'm going to do it too, but obviously I'm not.
I'll see what I got, but I might stop on the 5th day.
But I also, I said, like, I don't expect everybody to own them because I know there's a lot of pre-orders that haven't come out yet. And I know there's, it's expensive to get everything.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for David at Black City Records to get more stuff in.
But this one probably is the other one that has been the one that I've listened to the most this year is Suffering Hours Cyclic Reckoning. This came out pretty early in the year. It was one of those albums that everybody was talking about being definitely album of the year contender. It's very blackened death metal driven. It's on Profound Lore. So, but I feel like this has kind of died down now. A whole lot of people have been talking about it anymore since it came out. But this has been one. And then where's it at? I had to pull it out because I'm pretty sure they'll probably watch this show. But another band that has been incredible support on here for me, and just I've gotten to know them pretty well, is Celestial Sanctuary.
I've read it.
Yeah, there's the new wave of British death metal that they've pretty much with Soul Diminished. Like, this came out relatively early in the year too. And then Sewer Rat also did a tape pressing of this. So this is another one that I've probably listened to a ton that came out this year. And these guys are great. I actually was following Tom on this band. He had a vinyl Instagram, and that's how I knew him. And then he was like, "Hey, I'm in a band. You should listen to this music." And being like, "Yeah, I'm in a band. Check this out." And then it ended up like blowing up and being like one of the best releases this year. So, wow. Yeah. And then I feel like this is one that people.
Of course, one of my this year.
I feel like people kind of forgot about this one a little bit just because it came out like right at the beginning of the year. And it was. I remember
it's there on Spotify. And it's like, oh no, it is play it.
Oh, this is one that's on a rotation still. Like I still listen to this nonstop. I wish they've been doing all these amazing shows. I've been so bummed I haven't been able to go and see them.
I still have not seen them because they haven't come to the UK yet. Hopefully next year, fingers crossed. But
yeah, they're so fun. Like and a lot of people when they came out, like I could see the hype was so crazy. I just remember I listened to it the day that it dropped and it hadn't sold out yet. And I liked it. And I was like, this sounds like Bolt Thrower. And of course I'm going to buy it because who doesn't love Bolt Thrower? And I remember I pre-ordered the vinyl because it hadn't dropped yet. And then people were like, you got one? That's crazy because they sold out so fast. Wow. And I thought that was like, what is going on here? Like death metal is super popular. Like what's going on?
How is death metal popular now in 2021?
Like they're selling out, like because I feel like it maybe wasn't a thing that I had ever really paid attention to previously, but I know like within the last couple of years, with the exception of the Warm album, Gloomlord, a lot of the albums I had gotten, they hadn't sold out or weren't hard to get at that time. So but yeah, those are just some of my favorites. But I've got a lot of like the EP stuff too, because I listen to a lot of the underground stuff and like Stench Collector is one that I've talked about on my channel a few times now. Yeah, this is on Redefining, Redefining Darkness, and then another one is Disembodiment. Caligari did the tape pressing. Everlasting Spew did the CDs.
Everlasting Spew.
Yeah, this is really good. This is a nice little spin, nice little different spin that they did on death metal. So I've really enjoyed this one. I have a bunch of stuff, and then of course because I absolutely love Gurgling Gore, which is another label that I talk about all the time, and they've released. Yeah, they've released a lot. Yeah, they've released Parallax Occlusion and the new Thorn and Warflurch and all of those releases this year. But another one that I feel like probably didn't get as much love as it definitely should. And you had him on your show was Puke Wraith, which is Brendan Dean, who was also in Fumes.
Of course, yeah.
And this is his solo project that he did that Gurgling Gore put out. And I'm a big fan of his, and like he's a really nice guy, and I think he does great work. And him and Dan's Intestinal Hex is another one. I didn't take it off my shelf yet. It's another great release that was put out on Stump Grinder. So like all those little underground labels, I have so many of those I absolutely love. So I'm planning on doing like 3 different videos or 4 different videos of like my favorite black metal ones, my favorite EPs and demos, my favorite death metal full lengths, stuff like that, and just try and show everything because I've shown a lot of stuff this year, and so many people have been like, how are you keeping up or how are you remembering? And I'm like, trust me.
What do you find the time? Come on.
Yeah, I was like, you don't forget albums. Like you don't forget albums that you love. And like even I see this with Ken, like he's got I think insane amount of releases. Yeah. Insane amount of CDs and vinyl and tapes and stuff. And like you can tell just by how he posts on Instagram, like he'll just randomly pull one out because he probably thought like I'm in the mood for this kind of death metal, and like he just knows like that's just how it is. Like you don't forget the bands and albums that you love, and that's just how it's been these last 2 years, I should say. Because I started really buying a lot last year too.
Yeah.
So, definitely. But Instagram has also been helping me out to archive and know You've cost a few of us.
You cost a few much a fucking fortune.
Yeah, that was the goal. All right.
Yeah, he just said this because I've also holidayed in Florida as well. But last time I was there was 2009.
Yes, Morrison Sound. Yep, Morrison Studios.
I'm
Yep.
not programmed there yet. Once I've actually passed my driving test and I go back, I'm like, off to Morris Sound. It's not there,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
We'll go
that is
down to
very
the
true.
Everglades.
So, Terry Butler and a few others had they have a new band out that are based out of Florida, obviously, and they live relatively close to me. So when I ordered their
Wow.
new Inhumane, I'm blanking on the name right now. They had a band that dropped their album this year, which I was reading that they had it written the music a while ago.
Thank you for that.
That's good. No, thank you. That's the goal. As I always tell people that if I ever find out that somebody likes something that I suggested or they bought something like that, always makes me really happy. But yeah, the Florida death metal scene is definitely it's here, and there are great bands from here. And I feel like and like I mean like Warfletch is from Florida,
Yep.
Worm is from Florida.
Killing Addiction.
Yes, yeah. I know
Brutality. I'm not going anymore, but still.
I'm blanking on a couple of them right now. They're probably gonna watch this soon.
Solstice, yeah. Solstice? Solstice?
Yeah. I mean, it's iconic here, but I feel like in terms of me understanding of the scene and
Human Condition.
there you go, Human Condition, there it is. Yeah, so they actually live like 10 minutes away from me. And so when I ordered their album on Bandcamp, I literally was kind of just like, oh, it'll probably take a while. It came the next day. I was like,
oh, it's gonna take a while.
And it was like actually a letter in there, like, oh, thanks for like supporting us, and it's nice to see somebody like a death metal head in Florida and stuff like that. So, but I recently learned like Caligari is also in Tampa, and then they were a great label and distro. I've bought a lot of their releases. They put out Coffin Mulch was another one that I absolutely loved.
Great.
Absolutely loved this year. And I've given that tape away several times as like a giveaway, and then I've probably have bought that tape at least 4 times this year because I've done a couple giveaways with it, and then I keep it for myself, and then I'm like, oh, somebody talks about how they can't find it anymore, so then I'll send it to them, and then I'll buy it again. But yeah, Caligari's in Tampa, so whenever I order from them, I always get the stuff right away. And then there was another label here, Total Dissonance Worship, which I've talked about several times on my channel, who is run by Simon, who is also in the band Nightmare. He recently just moved from Tampa to the Portland area, so I was kind of sad about that because it was nice to have him in the area. He's the reason why I know of the great vinyl shops in the area and stuff like that. So it is thriving. I feel like it maybe not as big as Chicago might be now.
I've not been to Chicago because I don't know how
Chicago's
big
got
it
a
is
really
there
great,
with like record shops and stuff.
I'm definitely more familiar with the Chicago scene just because I'm from there. Yeah, and I still have, obviously family, friends that are still very heavily into it. So, in terms of the Tampa scene, I've been down here for almost 9 years now, and I didn't really start going to shows and stuff until within the last like 5 years. So, still trying to get to know people around here and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the brass mug it's funny that you know that because everybody knows what that is.
The reason why I know about it because I watched the Cannibal Corpse documentary because obviously they moved from Buffalo to Tampa, and then everybody now knows like Rob Berry and all that go in there and everything, and it's like I just saw it on the documentary, it's like the brass mug. I was like, what the fuck's this place? And then it's like, oh, it's a gig venue. Okay, whenever I can go back to Florida and there's a gig on, I'm going to that venue.
Yeah, they do. They have tons of stuff. And then, and like Corpse Grinder lives in St. Pete, or at least that's what I heard. And which is 15 minutes from me. So, and it's funny, people find out that I'm from this area and they're like, oh, have you ever met him? And I was like, well, no. I don't know him personally. I've never actually like run into him at the grocery store, but I have seen him live several times. I know though, like when Frozen Soul and all of them came through here a couple weeks ago, like he was there and hanging out with them, and I kicked myself for not going because I probably could have gotten to meet so many people, but there's still some, stuff I got to do after work, and I can't always go to shows. Like I wish I could.
Shows, which sucks. Like,
yeah.
So I always try to get to shows, but it's like it's either work just tires me out, or I don't have that much money.
Yeah, and the thing, I've learned to not go because I don't have the money. Like, I always justify, like, I bought the ticket. That's all you need. As long as I have money to, like, get a drink, stuff like that,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
basically how
But
I try to find out.
yeah, but my thing is if there's a vinyl, like a road show vinyl record that I know that they have on tour, I always try to, keep room for that. Which is what I've done for the last show. So I went to a couple of shows recently. I went to see the Acacia Strain, which is actually like a deathcore band, and people are probably like, "What?"
Look, it says Melanie Loves Death Metal, not Melanie Loves
You
Death
like deathcore? Yeah, I haven't. That's another thing that people often I get some hate on, is when I bring up a deathcore band. But it's one of those bands that's kind of always carried on.
Walmart looking for songs.
It's true.
This is true. He does. If no one's there, it's like
he really does.
Like, he does what now? Well, he does have kids of his own, so. But I think they're much older now. I don't know, but
yeah. And then I saw, like, I love Between the Buried and Me, so I recently saw them. That was actually my first show back post. And then so yeah, and I have tickets for Wolves in the Throne Room coming up in February. Yeah, I've never seen them live, so I'm excited. I've only been to a few black metal shows. I've seen Behemoth a couple of times.
Yeah, I saw Behemoth. That's who I saw them with, was with Behemoth, because they were supporting it. It was them,
yeah,
and Behemoth.
Oh, nice. I've never seen it. I would love to see At the Gates. I've seen Behemoth, and I've seen Cannibal Filth a long time ago.
Yeah,
but Behemoth shows are, I feel like I always tell people this, if you're able to see them where they're the headliner and they have the budget to do what they want on stage, like, it is worth going. Even if you're not a huge fan of their music, they put on such a phenomenal show.
Oh yeah. Because when I saw them in Bristol, they just blew me away afterwards. They all came on with like the snare drums that some marching bands might have, and some, those sort of drums, and they're just hitting those, and then by the end of it was just like big roar of cheers and everything. It was just like,
yeah.
I was like,
this
is amazing.
They are wholeheartedly the reason why I dove more into black metal. And like, I often wish I could go to more black metal shows. So that's probably like one of my 2022 goals, is to try and go to a lot more black metal shows. If they come around here. There was a couple of shows out in the Washington area, which is quite far from me. It's on the other side of the country, where like Lamp of Murmur played some of his first shows ever live, and I was just dying. Wish I could have went there and seen those. So, but yeah, I really, really love going to concerts, and if I'm not able to go with anybody, I'll just go. I don't care.
Yeah, I do that. I just go and
I almost always find somebody to talk to there. So
that's basically what I was just about to say. I usually see mates there who luckily would be at the same show, but then I know too many people that go, and then I alternate from one person to another, and then back to that person. It's like, because I'm like, because if you ask anyone from Bristol who knows me, I'm like the pinnacle of the scene. It's just, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get back to that point. I was starting to get to be like that.
Love you both. Keep
see you later, Mark.
Mark.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Anyway. But yeah, I want to get back to that point, because there was, right before COVID came, I was going to a show. It seemed like almost
COVID.
Yeah, almost every other weekend. So I definitely love going to live shows. And it's been something I've always loved doing, and I'm excited that tours are back. So but yeah, there's a bar here called the Crowbar, and it is a little tiny, I don't want to call it a dump, because it's not but it's like a dive bar.
No, because I'm intending to pause.
Yeah. And it is tiny, and they've gotten some incredible bands to play there, and I'm like, I'm gonna be like on top of the stage, and this is gonna be awesome. And I remember I saw Exhumed and Gatecreeper at this show at that bar 2 years ago, and that was incredible. Both of those bands were so good. Exhumed is incredible live.
Yeah, I've seen Exhumed because they played Bristol quite a lot of times. Well,
yeah,
a couple of times to my knowledge, and they went on tour with. They're not going anymore, but I think they're working on stuff because I heard it from one of my mates, Ian, who's in the band called Seprivation. I don't know if you heard of them.
I have not. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, check them out, and because they recorded their only album they got out so far, Consumed, in Italy actually.
Okay,
which was cool. Yeah, if either you're Death Thrash, you're gonna like them. I mean, if anyone likes Death Thrash, there's got to be Death Thrash, wasn't there? There's a Crowbar in London too. I think Crowbar as in an actual crowbar. Is that what you meant?
Or is there like a bar named Crowbar?
Crowbar.
Yeah, you said Death Thrash. Steel Bearing Hand is another good release that you just reminded me of that.
Yeah, I like Death Thrash, but when I listen to obviously death metal is either the Swedish style death metal because sometimes I can't stop talking about it, and this is thanks to a mate of mine named Russ, who's a big Swedish death metal fan. And I went to Sweden 2 years ago because they had Scandinavia Death Fest, and Dismember reformed and did 2 headline shows.
Awesome.
So that was amazing.
I'm very jealous of your location because you're able to go to those countries. There's a big fest that's happening in Norway next summer. I can't remember the name of it right now.
I know what you're on about. I can't remember what it was, but
I can't remember the name of it right now. And that's my goal, to try and go there to it. I've been looking up flights, and they have like every band you could imagine playing. So I've always wanted to go over there. I've only been to Ireland, and I've only been to London. London was a pretty much a quick layover, so I wouldn't even really say that. But I've spent.
Well, that's where Crane Man's from, London.
But yeah, I'm very jealous of the festivals that you guys have and all of that over there. So
yeah, we got Bloodstock, which is
Bloodstock, open air
festival. It's great to be back there because it's like, but obviously you had to do the lateral flow test.
Yeah.
If you get a negative one, you can go in. But then people started testing positive afterwards. And I was just like, I'm so happy the people I camped with were not positive.
Yeah, I know.
I was just like, but the only thing that was annoying afterwards, my phone died and I couldn't get an Uber back. So I had to drag my stuff on the bus. Oh, God. Oh, well, doing a lot of stuff without breathing and coughing. But, yeah, so you said you're from Chicago originally.
Yep.
What made you move from there to Tampa?
So I was born and raised in Chicago, and I left there 13 years ago now. I moved out to Connecticut because at the time, and I don't want to get like political or anything, I was engaged to my then wife, who is now my wife, and the marriage was not legal in Illinois. It was legal in Connecticut. So I moved out to Connecticut out there, and then we were both transitioned down to Tampa for our jobs, actually, about 8 years ago. Right. So, and we've just been down here ever since, and we ended up loving it down here. So actually really growing up in Chicago, being in the winter, having the fall, the cold weather, the snow, everything.
Cutting it.
I actually really love it. And I do miss that quite a bit. And then moving down to Florida, which is where I live in the Gulf area, it's very tropical here. It's rarely cold. And if it is cold, it gets into, it's not anything crazy. And it's only for like maybe a week or 2 out of the year. But it's generally, it's generally hot down here. And the summers are very humid and disgusting.
Yeah, I've been to Florida during the summer months, like July or
and it was
a
big it's a big cultural change for me. I was never like a beach person. I was never a very sun person. Like I'm a person that wears black t-shirts and I'm very pale, so the sun was never anything.
Black t-shirts and pale, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, we moved down here, and I remember thinking like, I don't know, this is gonna last. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back up either up north or somewhere that at least has, 4 different seasons. And then it just it grew on me after a couple of years. And then now, where I currently live now is probably a place that I'll probably end up, staying here forever and retiring and living here. So, but yeah, it wasn't my first choice. It definitely was because of work. It was an offer that was too good to refuse. But I probably, if that had never happened, we probably would still be up in the Northeast around. We lived an hour and a half away from New York City, so I was in New York City a lot. I've grown up and I've very much a city person. I've lived in New York City. I've lived in Chicago, obviously. And so moving down to Florida was a big change for me because it's where I live is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I live, and so it was a big change for me. Like I like driving a car every day, like actually having to go to a grocery store now, stuff like that. Like where I was before, like, I could walk within walking distance. I could have it delivered to me. Like there was just so much things are more accessible. So it's been a big change. But now that I'm older and I have, like a career, I guess you could call it, and kids, it's ended up being one of the best decisions that we've made. I don't always enjoy the heat though. That can get a little bit, it can get oppressive, I can tell you that. And so every year I always go back up to Chicago because my whole family's still up there. And we always go back. So in a couple of weeks I'll be going, and we spend we were spending like 3 weeks up there, but now that my son's in school, we can't. But we go up there and we stay during Christmas and New Year's and pray that it snows and it's cold. And so just to get that back out of my system. And by the time we've been up there, I'm ready to come back. Like, okay, I got my share of what I needed. It's time to go back home. So
I got my share of snow and cold and rain and whatever.
Yeah.
And let's go back to sunny Florida, where it's sunny from January to December.
It is nice. I will say, being able to do stuff year round down here is definitely a big plus. Because there's just endless amounts of things to do. And if you're a fairly active person, Florida's a very good place to live for that reason.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking, so that might be.
Yeah. I mean, that is probably 90% of when I listen to my music is when I have 2 dogs. I walk them every night for over a mile. So that's generally when I listen to most of my music. So, and it's usually depressing when I'm not able to do that. So, but yeah, the 2 things that I just had to get used to down here was the rain, because there is like a rain season that can get pretty crazy where it storms every day and it's intense for the like 15 minutes that it storms. And then just the heat.
The heat in Florida is, well, especially during the summer, is unbearable. But when you get into somewhere like Walmart or the other supermarket, Publix, I think is what it's called.
Yep,
that's the one I remember. Yeah, because every time we drop
Publix.
Publix. Every time me, my dad, my brother dropped the stuff, I'll go there. Oh, Publix, what can we get? Oh, fried chicken. I'm getting that.
Yes, that's so funny. Yeah, that Publix is.
I know all this shit. So
it's Publix is just That's the other thing. It's funny, we go up north and like I know all the grocery stores up there. They've been the same since I was a kid, and then I'm always like, man, I wish they had Publix up here. I've gotten so like used to it down here.
I just seen. I was like, what's this Publix? Okay. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's hot outside. As soon as you get in there, aircon's just blasting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh no, I gotta leave. Oh no, back to the villa. Oh nice.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's hot again. Oh nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is in the summertime. My parents always come down and visit during the summer. They're actually planning to retire down here soon, so I'll have more of a reason to stay down here after that. But they'll come down and visit, and they'll stay with us, and we have the air conditioning set to like 68 degrees at night. Like it's always really low, and my mom is freezing. Like I'll wake up in the morning, she'll have like a sweatshirt on, and I'm looking at her, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm like, I'm just used to it now. Like I need it. Because I can't sleep when I'm hot. I get overheated. So
yeah, I've had that. Where I'm just like, it's hot. I can't sleep. Grace just asked a question. Blood of Angels is a band that like we got into. I can't remember when we got into them now. Gray. He had them on his show, on his metal chat stuff he does.
I've heard of the name. I am not familiar with any of the music though.
Yeah, because they sent me their music so I can play it on my other podcast called Jake's Metal Sessions.
Nice. So that's definitely one of the things that I want to start doing is doing some sort of a podcast. I just haven't figured out what yet, like something that would be worth listening to. So
yeah, because definitely worth listening to. This my mate's well, he did it as a podcast, now he does it as a radio show, so I do with mine.
Oh, nice.
His old mate Jim Beerman, he does the Jim Beerman show. He's actually on at the moment, but I thought I got this planned. I can tune in whenever he's on again, which will be Sunday. And his old mate Simon, who's got one called the Metal Brethren Show, because he's literally known as Metal Brethren.
Nice.
And he got into metal about 2014, so he's like, oh, that's a bit late. You're never late to get into metal.
Oh, they're a Florida band. Okay, I'll have to look. Yeah, there's quite a bit of Florida bands that people often send my way, and I'm like, no, surprisingly, I've never heard of them.
I'm trying to remember what band I found. I think they're called I think they're based in Orlando. I know that. I think they were called Druid Lord or something.
Oh, Druid Lord's amazing. Yeah,
Druid Lord,
yeah. That was actually the band that I was thinking of earlier that I couldn't blank on the name.
I've been to Orlando a lot, and I'm thinking. Yeah. Most of the bands I know are from Tampa or surrounding areas of Tampa.
Yep.
Or like Florida with Killing Addiction and.
Yeah, Warflurch is up in the Gainesville area, which is not too far from here. Yeah.
Gainesville, Florida,
and then Phantom, I believe, is down close to the Miami area. Yeah.
He's near the Everglades.
Yeah. So I love the stuff that he posts on Instagram. He always posts in the stories because he always is off. It's funny, he actually is in the Everglades, the marshes and the swamps, and that's literally what I live on. If I walk outside, there is a swamp directly across the street from my house. There's gators in it, and wild animals all the time. And that is the thing that I've actually really grown to love about Florida is the wildlife here and just in general that. So when I see that he's out in the swamps with a tape player, and I'm like, man, I should start doing that.
I would do that, but then I don't have swamps. I'm in England, so we don't really have swamps. We have lakes, we have streams. The closest beach for me would be Weston-super-Mare. And, I got woods I can walk to. So I put music on and I played work before.
He really is showing that Florida scene.
Yeah, because I saw the video of him in the Everglades. He's got his robe on.
Yeah,
he's walking through the water. It's
yeah, and people probably
how mental can you get?
Yeah, they probably if anybody saw him, they probably didn't think anything of it because there's so many goofy people down in Florida.
It's
okay,
oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was the skunk ape. It's fine.
How long ago were you down in Florida?
Last time I was there was 2009.
Oh, okay.
That's the last time I was there. First time was 1999. That was in September, and it was still hot then.
Was it just a random vacation that you decided on?
A hot holiday because first time was with a bunch of us, and then other times it's been me, my dad, my brother. One time, my nan, his mum came along with us. So it was it is it's a
very common vacation and holiday spot. I often hear that.
As I got into all these bands over the years, I want to actually see a Florida band in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, Cannibal Corpse is they still. I mean, they're going on a new tour soon, so I'm excited because I'm definitely going to that. But they play so many shows before COVID and everything. I can't tell you how many times I've seen them just here. Yeah.
Played Bristol a bunch of times. They played Bloodstock. I've seen him play the famous Rock City venue in Nottingham.
Nice.
And with Devil Driver and the Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh God, the Black Dahlia Murder. Yeah, I'm sure you saw the
Nightbringers.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people where if somebody brings up a band that I'm like a huge fan of. Like, all right, let's start talking about that now.
Let's talk about this. Yeah, I'm like that as well.
Yeah.
Talk about a band, and then someone else might mention the band. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, okay. And then there's like, oh, check this band out. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
I love that band. I think I should not be honest with you. I just love Trevor. I think that's really
Yeah, he's just a big death metal nerd.
He is.
That's
No,
why I
he
put him on the chat.
In black metal. I think I read somewhere that he's doing a black metal album. I think I saw that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to be doing a black metal album, because I think he loves his black metal. Because last time I saw the Black Dahlia murder, Cannibal Corpse played in 2018 here in Bristol, a venue called the Marble Factory. Because I think it used to be a marble factory. I'm not entirely sure on the history. I was wearing a Beheaded long sleeve, and from Malta. Have you heard of Beheaded?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brilliant band. And I went. He was out. He was near the entrance, like into like the outside area where people go to smoke and whatever. Signing autographs, getting pictures done, and I thought, well, I'll get a picture of him because I've gotten into Black Dahlia a lot recently. And I went up to him and said, "Oh, I like the Beheaded long sleeve, man." I was like,
okay. Yeah, he's a big advocate for the underground scene, and just like on Twitter, his Twitter, he's always sharing Bandcamp links like, "Oh, this is awesome. You should check it out." And then I'm friends with him on Bandcamp, which people don't often know this, but you can be friends with people on Bandcamp and you can see like what they're purchasing. And it'll send you an email every once in a while. Like, I'm sure you can probably turn the setting off, but I haven't yet. And it'll tell you like what people have bought for the week. And like, he's often the email that I get, and it's like 15 releases. Like, Trevor bought this, Trevor bought this, Trevor bought this. And then, so then I just go and I listen. And he's another reason why I've heard so many things that I never would have found on my own. So
yeah,
Bandcamp is both a blessing and horrible at the same time, because
is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, just because I either can go weeks without buying anything on there, and then I'll spend a day on there and spend way too much money. So
yeah, I've done that with so many things,
especially the Bandcamp Fridays. I think now, now that those exist, I definitely have slowed down my buying on Bandcamp for that reason. So, and so many of the bands and labels, and like, this has been a really great idea. So like, props to them for thinking about this, but they choose to do the releases on those days now, like special releases that they have. And that's probably like one of the smartest decisions they could make. So now I'm always like, if there's one coming up, and I've seen a couple of things announced already that are going to be released on Bandcamp Friday. So now I always try to tell myself, like, I'll write it down. Like, okay, this is coming out on Friday. Don't buy it yet.
Don't buy it. It's like, okay. Screw you. I'm buying it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes I just can't do it. And like, I'll miss out on things. And I've trained myself to not kick myself for it, because it was getting to the point where I was making it a point to, I'm going to grab it, and like being obsessed about it. And then now I've just told myself, like, I gotta settle down. Like, if it'll get repressed again, somebody will have it. Yeah. Like, just be patient. So,
but it just happens when you're a metalhead. You just constantly buy albums, and you look at your bank, and it's just like,
yeah, it's a never-ending cycle, honestly. And a lot of people,
quite insane. It ruined his life.
A lot of people have asked me, even just in comments on my videos, like how do you like continue? Like, how do you listen to all this? Like, you have so many things. Right? Like, do you actually listen to them more than once? I'm like, yeah, actually I do. Like, digital definitely makes it a lot easier, because I'm not always in my office, which is where like my tape deck, my record player, and my CD player are. So I'm not always in my office to listen to that. But I do, like, I go in cycles of things where if there's something I really love, like, I listen to it nonstop all the time, and like it's on the record player a lot and stuff like that. So I feel like for people that truly get that, like, obviously you're probably one of those people, and a lot of people that I'm friends with on YouTube now, like, that's how they are too. So they understand it. So it's been nice to meet the people that understand it. but also a curse because I feel like it's amplified a lot more now, more than I ever have been. So like Liam and Mark have been saying, I've been, causing them to spend more money than they would like to.
Yeah, I've just spent, well, especially with Black City Records, I've spent too much money there because there's just so many albums that he brings out, be it albums that have been out for like 30 odd years now, or new albums, or albums that came out in the last 10 or 15 years. I'm like, I'm gonna buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I don't even want to see how much I've spent because he's probably going to tally it up and been like, this is how much you spent.
I know. I definitely have a couple places like that here. That like I like follow them on Instagram or Facebook, and like they'll post their stock that they just got in. And there's a store in Chicago, Meteor Gem, who I've talked about 1,000 times on my channel, who he just, in terms of like customer satisfaction, it just nails it with that. Like immediately ships your stuff, has great communication, has an amazing supply of stuff, and like he gets things in that are often sold out and you can't find anywhere, and then he somehow has them, and that's been just crazy. Like I have to tell myself, like, okay, I just saw that he made an Instagram post. I'm gonna ignore this for a few days because he always is posting like, oh, here's this repress of this that I did not get.
It's like,
no. Yeah.
No, because
so
I can't spend money.
I definitely have those days, but there are there's several record shops in the US that I've always wanted to go to, that they're just known for being, amazing. But luckily they have a Discog store, so I've been able to buy through them that way, which is also Discogs is another site that just is both a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's me. It's like, I love going to all these shows. I like buying records. It's like, I got no money left.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing good. The last couple of months I've been doing fairly good. It's funny because when I do collection updates, a lot of the times I've had this stuff for a while and I just haven't shown it yet.
I've got to stop doing that, like collection videos. Obviously, the
Yeah.
records one, which again I will mention to people, is going to be a live stream. It's going to be on YouTube and hopefully Facebook and Twitch. So I'm going to do it on 3 different platforms. Once I update this StreamYard thing, so I can get rid of that duck symbol.
Yeah, so that's what I've been using to record my videos lately is StreamYard, because I like the little banners and stuff like that. I do wish that I could to play music in my channels. I would love to have a channel where I can play the music and actually talk about it. Similar to like Schnell. I don't know if you Adam Schnellenbach. He is also in A Cursed Womb. He's got a fairly pretty big YouTube channel. I think he's got almost 6,000 subscribers now, and he posts every single day. He calls it Vital Vinyl Vlog. He's super passionate. I will tell you, he's probably one of the most passionate people that I know in death metal. Just loves it. Like it is, he breathes it, like eats, sleeps, breathes death metal. So he posts every day on his YouTube channel, and he plays the actual album that he's talking about. And he just doesn't care about the copyright strikes or anything like that. And I just, like, for me, I want to get to that point, and I'm hoping I can start getting like licensing from labels and bands and like allowing me to do that. Because I do want to do that. Like if I were to do a review, I would want to be able to play a certain snippet of a song and be like, see, like this right here is what I loved. Like, especially with Worm's new album. There were so many things on that album. Yeah. There were so many things on that album. Yeah, that I wanted to just listen to this and be able to do this. So I guess eventually get to the point of like Banger TV, which is another big YouTube channel.
Yeah,
where they
reviews and
and be able to be a part of a community like that and do something like that, or maybe join them someday. Who knows? And just be able to.
That happened with me. Like we got Jake's Metal Chat. Is like, how about this?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you want me to do?
that is, I've often said, like, that is hopefully the goal someday for me is if I continue to do this to
do
be able to get in more into the scene and possibly create some sort of like a weekly radio show where I stream like a playlist of music on here and to like a DJ it and have like a YouTube metal like radio channel on here or something like that. But I just gotta figure out how to do that
and how to happy with my other podcast that I got. I do because I got the radio show. I get I got awesome. I basically get a lot of new stuff from Transcending Obscurity.
I love that label.
They've sent me so much stuff, and I'm thinking I think I can only play one song from each album. I can't play everything, which is fine because like, you can only play this one song.
So I'm so happy because indie merch just started carrying Transcending Obscurity releases, and before I had to buy them through Bandcamp, and the shipping was expensive, and then you had to wait several months to get it. But now I've been able to buy it through indie merch, which is like a distro here in the US. And I actually just got the new Fetid Zombie album from them, which is Mark Riddick's musical project that he has. And just
great stuff.
That's going to be a video. I got to get around to record it.
Cool.
I love what they do with their label. Like first of all, they have tons of awesome bands on there, like Live Burial and Atrabilis, or I can never say their name right. Sepulchral Curse, and just so many amazing underground bands on there that are now like signing to like $20 band and stuff like that. But just the way that they do their packaging and the way that they do like their pressings of vinyls and their CDs, like it's just different. Like it's not a normal, like they have really high quality stuff. It's interesting. I mean, it's not like some people are just don't care about that kind of stuff, but like for me, I love it. So I do. That's awesome. Yeah, that's another label that I feel like I haven't bought from in a while. So I wish
stuff from them, and also I got sent some stuff from Everlasting Spew as well.
Okay, so I was wondering if that was going to come up. So I'm sure Tito probably hit you up then.
Yeah, he hit me. Yeah, I just messaged on Instagram saying, "Oh yeah, I do a radio show with my podcast called Jake's Metal Sessions," and I said, "Is it all right if I can play some of your music?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll send you some stuff," and he sent me stuff and listed some saying, "Oh yeah, you can only play this song and this song from the new Burial album."
I have to listen to that. Yeah, he's actually sent that to me a
couple
of days ago.
When I'm just going to sit down and listen to it.
He messaged me almost 2 years ago on Instagram because I posted, I think it might have been Sepulchral Curse, because he knows Kari from the band.
Yeah, I've had him on the chat and to the guys from Burial.
Yeah, and he messaged me randomly one time when he saw that I posted that and was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Void Rot? Like, you probably would like them," which I had, and I actually at the time was one of the releases that I was on the hunt for the vinyl, and they were sold out.
Never heard about
seriously, no, that's a very true statement. I have not either.
Nothing they released, nothing of it's been bad.
But Tito is probably one of my favorite people to talk to. He's always sending me stuff. And when it took me a while to realize that he was with Everlasting Spew, like I didn't put two and two together. But and then I realized he was also the manager for Hideous Divinity, which I was already a fan of.
Yeah.
And then when it finally clicked, I was like, okay, this guy isn't just like he actually like knows these people. Like he wants me to get to them to listen to them more. So that's been a really cool connection to have. He definitely has hurt my wallet quite a bit. And their releases recently were pretty hard for me to get, just because they're in Italy. But now, like Night Shift merch also and indie merch,
too, as well.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, and that's another thing I love about is Transcending Obscurity has a lot of great variety. Like it's not just
death metal,
right? They've got black metal, they've got thrash, metal, all this stuff.
Death metal, black metal, doom, like atmospheric sludge doom stuff. It's just over the place.
But Everlasting Spew has put out some of my favorite releases within the last couple of years. I feel like not enough people talk about them. But yeah, like this Disembodiment was one of them. Void Rot's another one that I've absolutely loved from there. And then I guess he's the manager, or he used to be the manager. I don't know if he is anymore, of the band Bedsore, which is another amazing band.
I got their album because I hadn't bought it yet.
Yeah, I love Tito. Like he always, and he's the reason why. Obviously, I know Everlasting Spew, so I'm hoping to, be able to get more stuff in. But it is nice that I finally have distros in the U.S. that I can buy their stuff, because previously I wasn't able to. It was very expensive.
It's always good to have distros, so you can get all these albums that some places won't actually stock. So
yeah. So shout out to him if he's watching this. He's a pretty big
supporter. I don't think he is, but
I think he might eventually. He's pretty active. He's usually
about.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my bigger supporters, that's for sure. So I'm hoping that him and I can connect and do a giveaway someday. We've been talking about it.
That'd be good.
I like that's the other thing that I've been really enjoying, is being able to connect with people like that and do stuff like that.
That's what I've been trying to do with this channel, is just connect with more people. Like,
so it's cool. Mark, the radio,
you, Ken.
Yeah, the radio show thing is cool. That's a cool idea. So
yeah, I've just been doing that since this year, so it's been going well. But before we end this chat, is there any more plans for the channel? Like, obviously more videos, but are you going to do more reviews? Are you going to do something similar to what I'm doing? Anything?
Yeah. So 2 things that I want to start doing, and I've actually already started. I just am taking a while because I'm going to actually, dive in, do a deep dive and talk more and edit the video for once. Is I love, so I have a really big art background. Like I went to school for graphic design, and I did an internship at the Art Institute of Chicago. So like I have a fairly large art background as well as music background. So I've always loved death metal art. Just absolutely love it. And is probably one of the things that drew me into death metal was the artwork behind it. Like, and to the point now where just following the artists and buying albums because I know that they're going to be the artists and stuff like that. So I really want to start doing like an artist series where I focus on a death metal artist, like the album covers that they've done, show off the artwork, talk about the background that the influence that they've had in the death metal scene, and try to get more people aware of that, because I feel like that often can get overlooked a little bit in the death metal scene, and like that creates, like the ambiance of an album, so and like in all honesty, like Mark Riddick is probably a big influence for this idea, because I absolutely love his artwork. He's on everything, like he does so much. But I've gotten to meet a lot of the artists on Instagram, and I feel like they deserve more exposure because again, they're big supporters in the scene, and so they should get their name out there more, and hopefully get more people to commission their artwork and stuff like that. So that's one of the series I'm planning on doing. So I've got a list down of people I want to do, and I'm just trying to get more information and compile their work and like do it justice, and make it a well filmed video, not just half-assed thrown together. So I've been taking my time with it because I don't want to miss out on anything that I was thinking about doing with it. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that. I really, really want to do another series where I feel like Dance to Grave. Yeah, there you go. Actually, a lot of people, like, again, I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but like the new Rivers of Nile album, the artwork was by Dan Seagrave. So I think a lot of people
Dan Seagrave.
Yeah, another series that I'm thinking about doing, that I'm probably going to start doing, is I'm going to call it fucking deathcore, because a lot of people really, really don't like deathcore. They really don't like it.
Biggest fan, but there you go.
And have it not be that, like, talk about some deathcore bands that I actually really enjoy and like love their discography, and talk about it, and maybe just try to get a little bit more variance on the channel. It's still death metal, like still in that realm. But it's just a little,
Please don't go, what are you doing?
Yeah. and kind of just see it kind of turned into a joke because I get some random hate every once in a while, and this is something that I knew was going to come with the territory. And it's been something I've been learning how to deal with, and Ken has been a great mentor with me, teaching me how to not react because I do get some pretty awful things sometimes. And I got a comment a while back, and I won't say who it was, but he still watches my videos. He still comments. It's all good now. But I mentioned that I liked, who was it? I mentioned that I wasn't a big fan of deathcore. I openly said that. I'm really not. There's a lot of it I just do not like. I can't get into it. But there's a few bands that have got on my radar and I enjoy them. I've bought their albums. And I think I might have mentioned that I liked the Acacia Strain, and that got like people, like I got legitimate like private messages being like, oh God, they're dog shit. Like, how can you say you're a fan of death metal, but you're listening to a music like that? And like, you should listen to this instead. And it just was, it kind of blew my mind. It's like, wow, that was a trigger for people. So now I've thought about it, and it's, you know what? I kind of want to, because then some people, they do watch my stuff and they do suggest a lot of deathcore to me ever since they've heard that. So I kind of want to cater to them a little bit and try to get a little bit more into that and kind of dive into it. Obviously not have that be the main focus of the channel because people will be so upset with me, but maybe have like a series like once a month where like, hey, somebody suggested this viewer suggested this band to me. I listened to it. I enjoyed this. I wasn't a big fan of this, but hey, you like, but you know, in like Havoc be fuck deathcore because like it's a funny thing. So that's one thing I'm thinking about doing. And that might be the only thing that time allows me to expand on with my channel. But I do eventually want to get to live streaming, where I do a similar live stream and having other YouTubers on and members of bands. Like I would love to have Frank on my show. Like I think he's great. He's been an amazing supporter. I would also love to have like Daniel Benefiglio. I can't say his name.
I get everybody's last name.
Yeah, and Brennan from Fluids and Thorn, like all those kinds of guys, because there's a lot of things that I think about, like, man, did they do this? Did they do this when they recorded? What about, how did they do this? Like, because I really like that recording aspect of everything and understanding the process and like what goes into it and what inspires them. So eventually I'm hoping I can get to that. But for now, it's going to be the death metal art and then maybe the deathcore one. I don't know yet. Some people are still feeling that out a little bit. We'll see.
Well, you heard it here, folks. So
yeah, I'm not going to keep anything a secret. I mean, the only thing I keep secrets are giveaways. Like I'm not going to tell people my giveaways ahead of time.
Literally not going to see a giveaway video until it's up.
Yeah, no, I like to keep those. I like to keep a secret, and I don't want it to be like people thinking that I'm purposely picking certain people and stuff like that. Like, no, I'm trying to keep it fair. So
someone else I know.
Yeah, so he's another one of my subscribers that comments on videos quite a bit. So there you go.
Yeah, he's one of my subscribers as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan. But hoping to do a little bit more live streaming, and I can find time around it. But I would love to, and I've thought about doing live streams on Instagram too, because a lot of the people I follow over there do that. So like Fred from Bloodspore, he's also an artist. He's awesome artist. Like he does live streams every Friday now. It's called Forum Terror Fridays. And he's had awesome people on there. He focuses a lot on the death metal art. So he's kind of was an inspiration for that as well. So check out his live stream stuff if you haven't yet either. It's always really interesting.
That's a plan. I'm trying to check out more live streams from Ken and everybody else. It's just,
that is also the number one comment that I've gotten recently, or just messages like, hey, can you create a video that just only talks about the YouTube channels that you watch, the labels that you buy from, the distros that you buy from, and then like pretty much how do you do it? And I was like, I'll get there. Like, yeah. And I think I did one or two. Yeah. And I've done a couple label spotlights, as I call them, where I only talk about a certain record label and like what they've released. I've done Frozen Screams, which is another great underground label. I did Maggot Stomp, was like my first one. Transylvanian Recordings, who's also put out amazing stuff. Sivarus is another amazing release you should check out. That they just came out with a new album last week. So I want to do more of that too. Like I've been planning to do Life After Death and Gurgling Gore because I buy from them a lot. Caligari, Everlasting Spew, like all of them. Because a lot of people like, how do you keep up with all of them? I was like, well, I follow them on Instagram, so
that's how I keep up.
Yeah, and Facebook now. I've gotten into Facebook, which is a whole different world that I'm learning now.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass usually, but
yeah, I learned that today. Some people really like the thing that I've learned is like, as I think Mark said it earlier, like music is very subjective, and people are very passionate when they don't like something. And I've learned to just kind of brush that off. But there's been a couple of releases and stuff this year that I've just gotten hate for liking. Like it's like okay, all right. What and recently, like right before I joined this live stream, I connected my Instagram with my Facebook page. So I do have a Facebook page. I have never been active on it until now. And I posted the new 200 Stab Wounds record that came out this year. And there was a very angry guy in the comment section. I was like, I'm just going to delete this. We don't need to have that on my page. My mom might come here and look at this.
We don't want this comment here.
Yeah, so that's a new thing that I've been navigating and understanding.
Well, on that funny note, thank you for
thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
If everybody was wondering where you can find Melanie Loves Death Metal stuff, I've linked it all down in the description before doing the stream, well, way before the stream, because usually I forget to do that with these streams because I'm new to doing the live stream chats stuff. Well, I used to do it on Facebook and then upload them on there, but
all over, yeah.
But yeah, be sure to check out her stuff. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on YouTube and Facebook whenever she does decide to do Facebook stuff. But but Facebook can sometimes be in a pain in the ass, but there you go.
That's Facebook.
It's Facebook. And like I said, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, well, YouTube and Instagram mainly.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Well, sorry, were you? I thought you
were going to say yeah. I mean, Facebook is relatively new.
Facebook's new.
Yeah, but mostly Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, so be sure when if you're new to Men of Death, I know it's quite. I mean, I think most people are new. Maybe except for Grey Man's gonna probably be new to your channel, but except for Severin, RSK, and Mark and Liam, all know you and me. For anyone else that might have popped in earlier and started watching it, you're not familiar, go check the channel out, and you could just say, "Oh yeah, Jake's Metal Chat sent me this one." Is it because you watched the video? Never mind. Anyway, good day, good evening, wherever the hell you are in the world, and let's just keep as Ken would say, the banner of metal up.
Absolutely.
See you later, and
thank you.
Thanks.